Do you believe in fate? If not, my story might change your mind. In 1995, I'm on a train going to Essex. Opposite me is a woman I've never met. Then a voice in my head says, "Tell her Peter." The voice repeats itself, "Tell her Peter." So I ignored it, and then the third time it says, "You must tell her Peter." I leaned forward and said, "Sorry to bother you, but do you know Peter?" She looked startled. She said, "Peter is my boss." "How do you know?" I told her I'm intuitive. She then hands me her business card after telling me her friend was intuitive. A minute later, she got off the train. 1 minute later in talking to her, and that moment would have been gone forever. That moment starts a friendship until we lose touch about 2.5 years later. One morning I awoke and a voice in my head said, "You must see Maggie." So I tracked down her daughter, and Maggie had moved to Norfolk. Me and Maggie then reconnected. 6 months later in Norfolk, I wandered into a bookshop and met a lady called Jan. I gave her some intuitive messages I'd been given and healing, and 3 months after that, Jan visited me in London to say thank you. On entering my home, she told me she had met a lady at an awareness class the previous week. After stating, "You don't like blondes, do you?" To which I replied, "I prefer dark-haired girls." With that, I began to ask Jen some questions. "Does her car pull to the left?" She said, "I don't know." "Does she have a boyfriend she shouldn't be with?" Again, she said, "I don't know." "Does she have a brother?" Again, "I don't know." Jan said, "I will call her tonight and you can ask her." That night, I spoke to Shona, and the answer to all three questions was yes. That night, Shona emails me a photo. I look at it and turn to Jan and said, "That is the girl I'm going to marry. We'll get engaged at Roslin Chapel. Valentine's Day 2003. We'll get married April the 23rd, 2004. A medieval wedding televised." I even telephoned my mother, to which she replied, "Where did you meet her?" I told her I'd only just seen a picture. Her response was, "Don't be so effing ridiculous." I agree, it does sound ridiculous. I arranged to meet Shona, but told her nothing about my messages, fearing she would run a mile. Who wouldn't? After our brief meet, I thought my mum had got it spot on. It was never going to happen, was it? However, the voice in my mind insisted it would. So I bought an engagement ring and I booked 2 flight tickets to Edinburgh for our forthcoming engagement. Christmas comes and goes, nothing. I truly began to doubt it all. Then out of the blue, and just 6 weeks before our engagement date, Shona phones and says, "I know." I asked, "You know what?" "I know you're going to marry me," she said. I saw it in a vision. Bits of Shona's half of the story make this even more magical, but far too much to go into now. And so it happened. At Roslin Chapel, we did get engaged. Valentine's Day 2003. A magical Knights Templar wedding on April the 23rd, 2004. Blazing sunshine, jousting nights and televised by both ITV and BBC. Even our best man and photographer, Sir Anthony Rawlinson, was not even known until I saw his business card in the tea room and just knew that would be his role. 8 full years from thought voices on a train to a prophecy fulfilled. No one could doubt the future had already been seen. What our story tells you is there is a magic in the universe. You just need to listen.